In this Learning Lab Player Edition live stream, we're going to be playing using the National Mah Jongg League 2025 card, and we're going to be featuring I Love Maj as the platform. We'll spend some time in their exercise room. So if you are new to the game, or if you're an intermediate player on a fast track to learning this game, this is going to be a wonderful session for you. We're going to change the format a little bit today, just as a test. We're going to start with a topic briefly and a question, and then we're going to do a demonstration at I Love Maj, and then we'll open up for Q&A. So if you have any questions about the game, whether it be rules, sportsmanship, etiquette, skills, strategies, write them down so that you can share them later in this episode. I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing about MAHJLIFE. And also, I want to give a shout out to our moderators who will be helping monitor the chat. Welcome. Hello, Wes, Dana, Susan, Mary, Carol, Judy. Thanks for hanging out today. So the topic that we're going to be featuring today is exercising Charleston options. I want to show you that I have a wiki article on this, and we're not going to go through the wiki article. We'll probably talk through these ideas during the demonstration portion of this live stream. So please check out this wiki article later and study it. And if you have any questions, write your questions in the comment section below the video, or you can join us on the Learning Lab, #MAHJLIFE, on Facebook. Just go to Facebook and search for Learning Lab, #MAHJLIFE, and there you can ask all kinds of questions about the game, and you'll get answers from vetted instructors in a safe space. So check that out. I'm going to put a link to this wiki article in the video description after this episode. But I just want to show it to you. So let me share my screen and you can check it out. So here's the wiki article. On my website, if you click wiki, you'll come right to this "How can we help?" prompt. And this is where you can enter keywords to find articles that can help answer any questions you might have. This one is exercising Charleston options, and here it will talk about the basics of the Charleston, and then the options that you have are defined: the blind passing, stopping the Charleston, and participating in the optional lacrosse. Also, commitment to a pass, and then the optional across or the courtesy pass. So I invite you to check this out on your own. And again, we'll be talking about this when we do the gameplay with commentary. The other thing that I'd like to do today is show you how you can practice decision making when you have an undesirable result after the Charleston. So you go through the Charleston, and what you're left with is not what you expected. And maybe you're just as confused or perplexed or overwhelmed with what to do next than when you got your dealt hand. So we're going to talk about that, and I'm going to teach you a skill builder that you can do to help you overcome any of that negative experience, and maybe even desensitize you from the anxiety of being left with random tiles at the end of the Charleston. So we're going to do that. I'm calling it adjusting when the Charleston leaves you weak. That's the topic. So before we do that, though, I just have a question for you. And I invite you to comment about this in the live stream chat if you like. The question is, what is your mindset when you're an underdog? Now, an underdog I define as after the Charleston, maybe you know what hand you're playing or even what category you're playing if you don't know your hand yet, and maybe you have gaps and there's weakness there and you have more than 4 discards. That is what I call an underdog. So when you have a result like that after the Charleston, what is your mindset? What are the thoughts that go through your head? Oh, thank you, Wes. Does anybody want to share what goes through their head when they're in that situation? What do I do now? I guess that's what goes through my head. Now what? The Charleston is done. Now what? Now what do I do with this opportunity? I almost said mess, but I decided to keep it positive. What do I do with this new opportunity before me? Wes says he thinks about gathering and staying flexible. Yeah, that's good. And we're going to actually talk about that when I do a quick demonstration here. Anybody else want to opine or share what they think about that? What is your mindset when you're an underdog? Susan says, I think there will be plenty of tiles to pick something and something will come in. Be flexible. What is coming in? Be flexible to what is coming in. Yes. So what I could summarize this by saying gather and stay flexible. Just gather and stay flexible. Eventually something will reveal itself. So that is the plight of the underdog. So I'm going to share my screen. Feel free to continue sharing, and we'll do a demonstration at I Love Maj. Here's I Love Maj. I'm an affiliate partner here, so if you would like to give it a try, you can use hashtag MAHJLIFE as the promo code and get an extra week with your trial. And if you decide to get a subscription, I would get a small commission for that. I say thank you. Let's see, Mary says, just keep going. You never know what will happen. Yep, it is a surprise a lot of times. So here's I Love Maj. They have a wonderful exercise room down here. They have 5 different exercises that you can do to build your skills. We're going to focus on Charleston practice because this is all about the Charleston. It's a powerful part of the game. It can set you up for success if you make the right decisions at the right time. Sometimes, even if you make your best decisions, you could be left with something that needs still a lot more work. And that's what we're going to focus on today. And I'm going to give you a skill builder for how you can replicate that result. So we're going to do this with the Charleston practice. We're going to start the exercise. So here's with this skill builder. The purpose is to have a hand or tiles in your rack that are where you're in an underdog position. Basically, you have more than 5 discards, so that when you start with the pick and discard phase of the game, you can work on mindset and also practice starting with very challenging tiles. And you could even see how the game can turn on a dime. If you draw keepers, your hand could evolve quickly and you could be right up there as a contender or even a front runner in short order. In order to make this happen, what we're going to do with our tiles is we're going to focus on passing defensively only. We are not going to look at the card at all. We're not going to identify the strength of the hand. We're not going to pick a hand. We're going to wait to do all that until the end of the Charleston. Our only focus in this skill builder is to pass defensively. So it's a twofold exercise. First of all, we want to have a result where we have a challenging set of tiles after the Charleston, and we can also practice defensive passing in the meantime. So there's a couple of benefits to this focus. So we're going to focus on passing defensively. I think one of the best kind of passes that you can do is a little number with a big number. Let's see, let's actually do it this way. 3 bam, let's do 7 dot, and then we'll do a dragon. This is a fairly good pass, just with the tiles that we have. We're a bit limited just because of the way the tiles were dealt, but a 3-7 and 2 suits and a green dragon, that's not too bad. It could be a little bit risky because we have odds. Maybe we could make this better by keeping the 3 and passing the 2, because you can't use a 2 with a 7. So that might be better. Let's do that. I was thinking about the 3 because we have 2 3s, but we also have a pair of 2s in here. So to pass defensively, we want to plan ahead. Let's, for this first pass, do a 2-7. So that's our first defensive pass. Now we're going to sort, and we have pair 3, pair 8. So let's do a big number in one suit. We'll do a little number in another suit. Maybe we could do a 2. I would not pass a dragon here. Maybe what we could do to pass the dragon safely is the dragon with a 3 and an 8. That right there is a great pass. 2 suits, little number, big number, even, odd, and a dragon. That's a good pass. So let's see what we do here. Okay, so now we have another dragon. It's a dragon hand here. So now let's pass a big number, little number, and the dragon. So here's a dragon. And now we're going to pass a big number and a little number. This is going to the left. So this is a new person. We could maybe pass another 8 with a 3. And that way we have what I call a wide spread, where we have all singles, and we don't even have, no, we have one like number, the 4s. So we probably should split out the 4s in the next pass. So here's another great pass, 3, 8, red. So let's see what happens here. We keep getting dragons. It looks like nobody wants dragons. Now we're going to the left again, and we pass them a red dragon, an 8 dot, and a 3 band. So we want to mix that up a little bit. 8, 3. We gave them an 8 dot. So we don't want to give them another 8, and we don't want to give them another 3. We don't want to give them another dragon, just in case they kept those tiles. So let's remember that, and then we'll pass something different. Let's pass one of the 4s, maybe a 2, and then let's give them a 1. Maybe we could even keep the 2 and pass a 9. 1, 9, 4. Or maybe even the 9 crack, because we gave them an 8 dot. So if we gave them a 9 dot, they would have an 8, 9 if they kept it. So let's do 1, 4, 9. Even the 4 and the 9 are in one suit. You can't use a 4 with a 9 this year. Okay, so I think that's a pretty good pass. Now we're going across. So let's pass, well, we have a pair here. So we have one more right pass and then the optional across. We have plenty of tiles to pick from. So maybe we could even keep the 7. So let's do a little number, big number. The dragon keeps going around. We could maybe do, let's say, the 8 with a 1. Now that looks a bit risky. Let's see, because it's all corresponding with the dragon. So instead of doing it that way, maybe we could do the 9 with a 3. How about that? 9, 3. Even though you can use 3, 6, 9 category with this pass, 3, 6, 9 uses only 3 numbers. So, and it's one of 10 categories. So I don't feel bad about passing 3, 9 together. The likelihood of my opponent right now playing 3, 6, 9 is pretty slim. Okay, so now look, we got like numbers and we got that 8 dot back. Okay, so now we do the last right, and I don't remember what we gave them earlier. So we're just going to pass as defensively as we can. So I want to maybe do a little number, big number. We don't have any dragons, so let's try to spread it out. So maybe we could do a 1 with a 4. And then how about this 8? 1, 4, 8. That's not too bad. All right, now we have lots of 2, 4, 6, 8 in here, and we can do the optional across. So let's pass the east. We'll give a big number, and then maybe we could do, I do want to think about what we're one, this is our last pass. So I do want to think about where we're headed, which is a decision. So I don't want to bust it up too much in that optional across. Okay, so we're done with the Charleston, and here's where we're left. We focused on defensive passing only. So defensive passing only, and this is what we're left with. So the learning objective here is that we still have something we can do. We're, even without trying, we have a 2, 4, 6, 8 hand of some kind of a 2, 4, 6, 8 hand. So let's just keep the 2, 4, 6, 8 over here, get it over there, put all the 2, 4. Why is my computer so slow? Let's just do it this way. Probably be, why is this so slow? My goodness, it's like molasses. Moving tiles coated in molasses. Okay. So by focusing on defensive passing only, look at all the tiles we're left with. And we are an underdog. We've got 5 discards. That's my definition of an underdog. We know what category we're going to focus on, evens, and we have 5 discards, including a pair. I think that was a decent result, even not focusing on the category or hand. So I just want to ask, what do you guys think about this exercise? Any comments about passing defensively to be left with random tiles, and then the new mindset or what your thoughts are at that point? Basically, with American Mah Jongg especially, it's such a flexible game that you can make just about anything work if you train yourself to identify the strength of the hand. And the predominant pattern, or the most of our tiles, were evens. So that would be the result there. The outcome was we've got tiles that we can work with even without trying. And I think I know what we're going to do next, just to see. We're going to compare after we talk just for another minute about the results here. We were left with 5 discards and a pair, and we had 8 tiles towards evens, and every number was represented just by circumstance. It was serendipitous. We had nothing to do with that result. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, feel free to continue to share. I'm going to share my screen, because now what we're going to do is we're going to replay with the same tiles, and then we're going to target the strength of the hand, and we'll compare by making intentional decisions as we gather tiles to support the strength of the hand. We'll replay with the same tiles now. Joe said, in the spirit of defense, you have noticed many players will discard a number tile at the end when they can't win. Yes. Always discard jokers if you have them. Don't take the chance. Yeah, that's, I have a couple of videos called Planning Discards that goes into all that. So once you get through the Charleston and then you start the pick and discard phase of the game, there are a couple of videos that you can find if you search for planning discards to help you through that. And there's some gameplay with commentary with live examples. So with these tiles that we started with, we have a pair of 2s and a pair of 8s. So I would focus on evens. So even from the get-go, gosh, why is this This is so weird. Why am I having such a hard time with my computer lately? I don't know what. I think I need a new computer. This is supposed to be a really powerful gaming computer. So I don't know what is up with this computer. I think I need to get my tech support in here to analyze the situation. And by tech support, that would be my husband. I don't even have hardly anything open on my computer, so I have no idea why this is so laggy right now. Very strange. Get over there. Really, really weird. Okay, so we have 2, 4, 6, 8. We have a couple of dragons, and here now we have 3s, 7, 9. So we have odds. We're going to do the best we can with these tiles. I think 3, 9, 5. That's the best we can do with what we have here. So I think that's pretty good. Okay, now we got an 8, so let's keep it. It's in our category, evens, and we have tiles we can pass. 3, 7. Now we probably need to let a dragon go. Maybe we could do 2, 4, 6, 8 dragon. Third hand down, there's no gaps there. Okay, we got wins. That means we have tiles we can pass, clearly. We're playing evens, so we don't need 3s and 9s. There's a 4. Oh, get over there. My goodness, what is happening? Okay, so let's continue. We'll pass a 5, an east, and a 3. A little bit risky with a 3, 5, but it's the best we can do if we're focused on our predominant pattern, which is evens. There's another 2. And we have tiles we can pass. This is a great pass. 1 win, 1 dragon, and a number tile. Okay, now we have like numbers with 7s. Here, I would not pass 2 7s. I think I would let this 2 bam go. So we had to sacrifice a keeper, which really wasn't very helpful anyway. Okay, we ended up with a 4. And we have tiles we can pass. Red, 7, north. And I would pass fully. We did give them a 7 and a dragon, so this might be helpful for them. Okay, so here we have a hand with no gaps. This would be the third hand down under evens. We have 5 discards, which would mean that we'll be an underdog still, but we basically we've got a pair 2s. We have a pung of 4s. We need to get a 6 dot for a pair there. We could pung the 8, and then we need white dragons. Another thing we could maybe do is the concealed hand and use the joker as the missing 8 crack and play the concealed hand. There's some potential there. There's even potential for the third hand from the bottom. So we've got options. I still say we're an underdog here. So I just want to ask, if you are new to the game or if you're an intermediate player, would you use this exercise? If I document the purpose and the how to do it and what your outcome should be and what to do going forward, if I document that, would that be helpful? Let me know. And I'd be happy to do that. And we would call it, maybe I would create another wiki article for it. Maybe adjusting after a tough Charleston. Adjusting after a tough Charleston. Make a wiki article on that. Or maybe adapting. If I could type here. Okay, adapting after a tough Charleston. I'll put a link to it in the video description later so you can find that maybe later today. Adapting after a tough Charleston. Okay, very good. I will do that. So you can look forward to that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to play with robots and we're going to do the same thing. And we're going to carry the game forward. So we're going to end up with random tiles after the Charleston. And then we're going to watch what happens. And we're going to document how quickly a hand will reveal itself. And the idea there is that it could help to minimize anxiety when you're left with random tiles after a tough Charleston, because it's really not necessarily a bad thing. All hope is not lost. There is going to be hope just because of the nature of American Mah Jongg. So let me get the game ready. We're going to play with robots now, and we'll do one game and then we'll open it up to Q&A afterwards. So here we go. And we're going to do the same exercise, but we're going to get into the game. So our focus is going to be passing defensively. So we'll do a little number. There's an even, or there's an odd, and then let's pass an even. We've got 2 4s and 2 6s. So let's let a 6 bam go, or actually let's let a 4 dot go with a dragon. That way we're not passing a corresponding dragon. So there's our first pass. Now we have a wind, and we'll pass a big number and a little number. So maybe we can do a 9 with a 2. This is a great pass. A wind, a little number, big number, even, odd, 2 suits. That's the most benign you can get right there. Okay, we've got dragons in here. Look at that. Okay, so we're going to pass a wind, and now we'll do a little number and a big number. Let's do a 7 with a 2, or you know what we could do, because I don't want to be left with a bunch of evens because I want to pass defensively. So let's pass a 3 with an 8. 3 8 instead of 2 7. We'll do 3 8. This is a great pass. Even, odd, 2 suits, big number, little number with a wind. All right, there's another dragon. All right, so now we definitely want to keep going. We're going to pass big number, little number, and then let's pass a dragon. This red dragon. We're focused on passing. So you might think, oh no, don't let go of that dragon. That's not our focus. We don't necessarily want that right now because that's not our focus. Our focus is to pass defensively. So we have a 2.9 bam red dragon. That's a great pass. Okay, now we're going across. So let's do, I seem to like 9 2 and 8 3. Look, here's a 3 and an 8. And then let's pass the white dragon. That's another great pass. Okay, so let's sort, and we'll do, this is our last right. We can do big number, little number, and a dragon. We'll sort, and now we're going to go across. We'll pass 3. Oh, they only want 1. They get a wind. Okay, here we go. Now we start over. This is what we're left with. And it's interesting what we're left with here. Pung of red dragons, pair 6 crack, pair 8 crack. I would hold that. 6 8 dragon. Maybe we can play the 2 4 6 8 dragon hand. And look at that. Wow, we have 1 discard, really, because we have evens. Look at all the evens we have in here. I would love to get a 2 4 crack though for the 3rd hand down. So we're an underdog again because we were focused on defense. We've got lots of evens, but we don't know what hand we're playing. So let's discard the 5 dot and see what develops. I would definitely focus on the even category. Wow. Okay. A 4 dot. Now we technically we have all keepers here, but we've got gaps. So we have to sacrifice something. We have a 6-8. We do have 2-4 bam, 6-8, no gaps for the first hand on the right. We do have a 4 dot pair. We could use the joker for the 2 bam or 2 dot and do 2-4 dot, 6-8 crack, and just sacrifice the dragons. The 6 bam, we really don't need. So that's what I would let. Okay, so we may have to sacrifice these red dragons. I think 2-4-6-8 first hand is the option for us. I'd almost, and this we can't take. We need to Kong 4 band if we play the first hand. Oh my gosh, we got a 4 dot. So now I would just sacrifice the dragons. And I would play a gap hand. I would play 2-4-6-8, 2 suits, and use the joker to help with the missing 2 dot. And that means we're at 90 tiles remaining. We have 4 discards, which means we're a contender. If you have 4 discards and you know what hand you're playing, we technically have a gap, but that's okay because the kind of hand we're playing. We can use any number of jokers here. We need a 2 dot, but we can use jokers. So I would say we went from underdog to contender now. So let's ignore that. And we want a 2 dot or more jokers. Here we could Kong. And I would do that only because we have a joker and we're playing this type of hand. I call this hand a hand of least resistance because you can use any number of jokers. So we can pung the 6 and Kong the 8. All we need is a 2 dot or another joker and we'll be in good shape. So let's pung. Oh, I almost clicked Mah Jongg. Yeah, we don't want to do that. We need a 2 dot or a joker. A flower. Oh, okay. It would be nice if these robots would make exposures with jokers. A joker. We are now a front runner because we have 1 discard and we just entered the middle game. So we are 1 away from ready now. That's how quickly this game can change. We don't need that. We're looking for a 2 dot. Let's just stick with it. Nobody wants the 2 bam. There's a joker. What? Mah Jongg. Okay, we got super close on that, and we started from scratch after the Charleston. I think that was a fantastic result. Okay, let's talk about it. What do you think? Any comments? And I apologize for the lag. I don't know what is happening with this lag today. It's weird. I hardly have anything open, too. Huh. Why do I have such bad lag? It's the nature of technology. Okay, so close. Good job. Yes, it was amazing. We'll do it again unless anybody has any questions. I want to leave time for questions because this Learning Lab Player Edition is all about players. Any questions anybody has about the game, whether it be rules, skills, strategies, sportsmanship, etiquette, anything is up for discussion. And that's because the Facebook group, the Learning Lab Facebook group, it's a private Facebook group where players can ask questions from vetted instructors in a safe space. Not everybody uses Facebook, so we have this opportunity where people who don't use Facebook can come in and ask questions and get the same benefit. But you got to ask the questions to get that help. Okay, I don't see any questions. So I do want to talk quickly to instructors. If we have any instructors here, and I know we do, hello, please share about this Learning Lab Player Edition with your students, because every instructor shares things differently. And sometimes I may say something or something may come up in the live stream chat that can help a player that maybe didn't happen or maybe was said a little differently that would make things click for them. So please share about this live stream that we do every Tuesday from 1 to 2, the Learning Lab Player Edition. And incidentally, it is recorded, so you can binge watch it later. The other thing that I wanted to share with instructors is anything that I share in this live stream and all my other live streams, you can use in your own lessons. Like this idea right here, you can make this happen in one of your lessons. What to do when you have a disastrous Charleston. Maybe that should be the title. How to adapt after a disastrous Charleston. Something like that. Because it happens to even advanced players, although advanced players typically know exactly what to do. So let's go ahead and do that since I don't see any questions. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again, and we're going to do this again. And then I think we'll have time to play a regular game as well. So we're going to do the exercise again, where we're going to focus on passing defensively, and then we're going to start from scratch after the Charleston, and then after that, we're going to play a regular game. Does that sound good? Okay, here we go. Oh, this is going to be hard because we've got 3 jokers. 3 jokers. Okay, we're going to try to do defensive passing here. So we do have a 1 and a 9. We have 3s, a 9. We've got winds, a dragon. Let's pass an east. And then maybe we could do a 7 with a 3. That way we can maybe use the 1 and the 9, or maybe the 1 and the 6 next, like 1, 6 west. So this is going to the player on our right. Here's a west. So let's break that out. Let's pass a 1 bam with a 6 crack. Okay, so now we have pair 3. Let's break that out and pass a 9 with a wind. 3, 9 east, not too bad. Okay, so we're going to sort and we're going to keep going. We're focused just on defensive passing alone. Let's pass a 9 with a 2. It's a little bit risky because we've got 2 3s. So I think what I would do is pass a 3. So that way we have all individual tiles that are not quite helpful in a pass. Okay, so now we could do a 1 6 with a west. And we have great tiles to pass. Here's an 8, a 3, and an east. That's a great pass. Okay, let's sort and we'll pass 3. All right, here we go. So we're going to pass a north. Big number, little number. We do have a lot of 1 3 5. Let's pass a 2, and then we could maybe pass the 1. We're kind of limited here. Okay, so now we're going to sort and we're going to figure out what the strength of the hand is. So we start over. We start from scratch right here. So we have 3 jokers, north, green dragon pair, red dragon 5 bam, 1, 2, 3, 9 in cracks with a pair of threes and a 3 dot. I would target the threes and the dragons myself. Maybe consider 3, 6, 9 if sixes come in. Would any? We could even maybe do little odds. So maybe we can start by discarding the 2 crack or the north. What do you guys think about this result? Any comments, and what would you focus on? We can't wait too awful long because we're actually in a game. I think I would discard the north, although winds were going around, which means they're probably going to be discarded. You might think, well, we could play 1, 3, 5 with news, but we only have 1 wind. Keep the chow. See if we get flower. We would need, I think you're referring to the second hand down under winds. We have no flowers, which would be a pair gap. That's what Judy's talking about probably. Are you referring to the second hand down under winds? Yeah, 1, 2, 3 with dragons. Let's let the north go. So we're going to let the 9 crack go next, and then we're just going to gather. If we get a flower, we could totally swing that second hand down under winds. We need a flower though. Look what came in though here. We have a little bit of 3, 6, 9 potential. Here's a 5, 6. Let's let the 9 go. 1, 2, 3 dragons. Maybe we could play 3, 6, 9 with dragons. No, we don't have the right 3. We need a 3 bam. Third hand down under 3, 6, 9. I wouldn't call anything. What we really need in here is a flower. And I would not call it not without a flower in our hand, because that's a gap. And for the hand we're looking at, second hand down under winds, that's a pair gap. It's very risky. Okay, now here's a 1. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I think I would probably let the 6 go. We have 1, 2, 3, 3 dragon. Okay, it'd be kind of nice if we can get a white dragon. We could maybe play the third hand down under consecutive run. Or I'm sorry, third hand from the bottom. Third hand from the bottom. Or that would be the 6th hand down. We got the flower. Okay, Judy. I would consider the dragon hand. Now, what we don't have here, though, is a white dragon. Maybe the green dragon can be our pair. Let's see here. If the green dragon is the pair, the red dragon can be the pung. And then the white dragon could be the jokers. Or maybe the red dragon can be the Kong and the white dragon can be the joker. And then we have a 1, 2, 3 here. But we could also play 1, 2, 3 corresponding dragon and let the green dragon go. I think we're closer to the 5th hand down under consecutive run. All right, well, let's see what happens. So we're in between the 2nd hand down under winds and dragons and the 5th hand down. We're at 78 tiles remaining, which means we just entered the middle game and we have three discards. We're a front runner with 2 hands. Although if we play the second hand down, I'd say we're a contender because we don't have any white dragons. So let's see what comes. Oh my gosh, a green dragon. The green dragon. Okay, so maybe what we could do now with that pung, we could let the red dragon be our pair. And then we need another flower. The white dragon could be the jokers, and then we discard 1, 3 crack because we've got 1, 2, 3 chow now that we have that pung. So I'd say that would make us probably a contender because we've got weakness here. We need 2 pair, the flower and the red dragon. Incidentally, there is a white dragon out, so we need to be careful. Wow, a joker. You know what? You know what I would do here? I would not play that wind hand. With all these jokers, I think we should play the 5th hand down under consecutive run because we can leverage the jokers to get what we need. Pung the red. We have our pair of 1 cracks. We could pung the 2 crack and we can Kong either or the 2-3. So all we need in here is a flower. We're actually set for that 5th hand down. A quint, play the quint? Wait, which quint? Are you talking about maybe the 2nd quint? We have no wins. I don't think I would play a quint here because we don't have any wins. But I would sacrifice the green dragon. As painful as that is. One thing I am wondering though, if we end up getting a white dragon, we could switch to the 6th hand down. So here, let's pung, because we could pung with either hand. And let's let that dragon go. So now we need a 3 crack and a red dragon, and then a flower, of course. We need a flower. Oh, you were thinking of last year's quint? That would have been nice. Okay, we need a flower. Ah, okay, let's let the dragon go. This red dragon is a keeper. I don't want to accidentally discard that. We need a 3 crack and a flower. We got it, and we're ready to win. We're ready to win on what I call a double weight. We could win with a 3 crack or a red dragon or a joker. Maybe we'll even get our 2 crack. No. Okay. That's our pair. Oh, green dragon. The white dragon never came. 4 dot for Mah Jongg. There, we got Mah Jongg. So we ended up with a win, and that was after focusing just on defense, defensive passing, and then a fresh start after the Charleston. So you can totally recover after a disastrous Charleston. It's a fact. You just got to learn how to identify the strength of a hand and go with the flow. Be adaptive, adapt, gather, and then eventually a hand will reveal itself. So now I just want to see if there's any other questions. Does anybody want to ask any questions? If not, I'll go ahead and we'll do another game and just play normally. We'll play we won't use that. And you had so many different options. Yeah, we did. That's one of the beauties of American Mah Jongg. It is both the beauty and the beast. The beauty is in the flexibility, but the beast, there is a bit of a beast in American Mah Jongg as well. We're limited to the hands on the card. So you've got to know what to do with the tiles you get and how to make them fit one of the hands on the card. Beauty and the Beast, that is American Mah Jongg. Does anybody want to ask any questions about the game or about skills, strategies? Otherwise, we'll just do one more regular game. I don't see any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll get started. But first, I want to say thank you to Marianne, who joined as a channel member. I appreciate the support. I just want to say thank you to all of our channel members and subscribers. And of course, for anyone who just watches my videos, it helps YouTube know that you like my content. So thank you. All right, let's share the screen again, and then we'll play one more game. One more game. Here we go. And we're just going to do this normally. So we have a joker, flower, north, red, 1, 3, 9 in cracks with a pair of nines, 1, 2, 8, 9 in dots with a pair of twos. So with these tiles, what would you target? Let me know what you would target. What category would you focus on if these were your tiles? I'll let you know what I would do in just a minute. It's a toughie. This is a bit of a toughie here, but I know what I would do. Does anybody want to share? What would you do here? Okay, so what I would do is focus on the twos, because we have more 1, 2, 3 than we do 8, 9. So I would focus on the 2, but I would try to hold on to the 9s to see if maybe 3, 6, 9 comes in. So here's a 2, here's a 1. So some kind of a 1, 2, 3. We may or may not be able to use that red dragon. So now we're left with a pair and a, and a 9 dot. So I think what I would do is I break up the 9. Okay, here's a 4. We have a hand already. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pung, pung, kong, kong. Here's a 1 dot or a 1 bam. We could do 1 bam, 2 dot, 3 crack. Third hand down on the right. We have a west 9 dot. Now we need to decide on what to let go of. Let's let the red go here. Focus on number tiles here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 9. Yeah. Okay, so we have 3, 6, 9 did come in, but it's too late now. We have a predominant pattern with 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're going to keep going. The 9s really came in though. Look at that. South 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3 flower. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3 flower. 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you know what we could do? We could do either 1, 2, 3, third hand down on the right, or gather 3, 6, 9 and sacrifice the 2s. Let's see what comes in. There's a 9 dot pair now. West 1 can go. 9 dot pair with 9s. I'd break up the 2 and I would switch. I would switch to 3, 6, 9. It just seems like a trend. Sometimes if you notice a trend, you can leverage it. But we could also maybe play like numbers with 9s. There's a 9. Okay, so 9. 3. I think I would, we're doing the optional. We have a 3 crack here. I think the 3, 6, 9 is super weak. So I would let it go. I would focus on like numbers with 9s and pass fully here. Okay, so we have 4 discards and a hand with no gaps. We're a contender. We are a contender. We need 9s. We're going to play the concealed hand. Oh, look. We could maybe play the first hand actually now. Let's see if we get more 9s. Let's put this over here. We could play the first hand and we only have 3 tiles, but we can only act on the 9 bam. No, we have 4 because we have an extra red dragon. Okay, now here's an 8 crack. 8 crack pair. Okay, well, let's just see what happens. Yeah, we don't need that. Oh, Joker exchange. Ah, maybe we could take that Joker and play the third hand down under 369. No, somebody else got it. Oh my gosh. Stinkers. Okay. Let's let this 8 crack go. We do have a lot of 369, but it's not quite gelling. And there goes the 6 bam. We don't have 5. So clearly we're playing like numbers with 9s. Don't need 2. So we started out with a 1, 2, 3. We had 9s. We circled back to 9s. Don't need 4. Only 1 flower left. We might need to play the third hand down under 369. There's a white dragon. That's even better. That's it. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 7. So we need to play the 369 hand, third one down. We need to Kong the 9s and pung the dragons. We can Kong the 9 dot. We could pung the 9 crack. All right, let's see what happens. We don't need the flower now. 1, 2, 3, 7, 9. That's too bad. Those Kongs really destroy a pair hand. Okay, here we go. Let's pung. We're going to pung. I think we should pung. So now we'll see. We have an extra 9, but that's okay. I'd say we're probably a contender because we are playing a hand of least resistance now. Let's get this. So we can work with either one of these, but we do need to Kong this 9 crack. We need to Kong that 9 crack. We need to get one of these Joker or dragons in here. Oh, super. Well, we came a long way there. That looks pretty good to me. We just didn't have enough time. They won pretty quickly there. All right. Well, I hope you found this session helpful. Please look for links in the video description below, but give me a little bit of time because I need to document this skill builder, and I'll create a wiki article and link to it so that you can study it and practice. And if you haven't tried playing at I Love Maj, I highly recommend it. And once I get that wiki article up, get that handy in the wiki and have it available so you can cross-reference as you practice defensive passing and then starting fresh with whatever you're left with after the Charleston. And now next we have, tomorrow is the members only live streams, but on Thursday we'll be back for another episode of the Learning Lab Instructor Edition. So if you are an instructor, please join us. and share with your colleagues, and we'll talk about instructor things. And then we'll be back again on Friday for the Simply Social live stream and Beat the Pro. You can find information about it in my events section on my website. Moderators, thank you very much for helping monitor the chat. Oh, you know what? I just realized we're not going to do live streams on Friday because I'm going to be playing in a tournament and there's activities on Friday night. So forget that. I won't be here on Friday night. I'm going to be hanging out in the Cherokee County area with other American Mah Jongg players and instructors. So we'll miss each other on Friday. No live streams on Friday. Oh, except for serious fun. We are going to do a workshop on Friday here on this YouTube channel. Serious fun, all about house rules and navigating the purist rebel divide. Because there's a divide. House rules can be polarizing, and we're going to talk about that on Friday. So join us if you're free. We're going live from 9 to 3 for an interactive workshop. It even has, we're going to be using a workbook, and we're going to play a game with sort of outside of the tiles, actually. This is all about house rules. So it's not like we're not going to play any Mahjong. We're just going to talk about house rules, and we're going to play a game about house rules. So if you're free, I hope you'll join us. What happened to the instructor assembly for September? You didn't miss it. We had it yesterday because last Monday was the holiday, and so we did it yesterday, and I do have it recorded. I just need to edit it and get it uploaded. It should be up by Friday. So watch for an email with a link to the assembly video later this week. You'll get it by Friday. And we talked about teaching adults, but I had technical trouble, so I couldn't do a presentation. We just talked about teaching adults. It was a very interactive, intimate. Oh, you know what? I forgot to click record because of all the problems, the challenges with the assembly. So what you could do is go to the 2024 index and look at the teaching adults episode. That was the content that we covered. So you will not have missed anything if you watch the 2024 episode. That would have been what we would do if you were there. So look for the 2024 episode of the assembly. And if you have any questions, of course, just send me an email. I'd be more than happy to direct you to that, or provide a link, a direct link. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you. Let's see, you were logged in, but nothing happened it was because I was late. It wasn't your fault. It was my fault because I was late. I forgot about the assembly. So I logged in late, but we picked up the ball and ran thereafter. And again, if you want to see the content for that planned assembly, look for the 2024 assembly index and find teaching adults. And that would have been what we covered. All right, we'll see you again tomorrow if you're a channel member. Otherwise, we'll see you at Serious Fun on Friday. If you want to know more about it, you can go to my website, MAHJLIFE.com/serious-fun. Serious-fun, and you can check out the episode there. And that'll be a lot of fun, and I hope that you'll come. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. Click that little gray bell if you do. That way you'll get notification for when I post new videos, and you won't miss an opportunity to learn a new strategy or pick up an insight to the game that could give you an advantage at the table. Between now and the next video, may all your picks be keepers.